good to be back. It's Tuesday, August 22nd. Time to go back to school. Summer vacation is over. Lots happened over the summer. Might have seen a Mustang there parked behind our house, but that's actually my brother-in-law's. He's parking it there while he's going to Germany. There's a big black patch in the middle of our lane where they had to do some emergency gas pipe repair. But mainly, it's the day after the big eclipse. And it was pretty cool. I was able to go out in my front yard and take my camera and shoot some footage of it. Despite all the warnings of don't look at the sun, don't look into it, you'll burn your retinas out, you'll ruin your cameras. Well, it was pretty much behind some clouds and I got some nice shots of it. And when it wasn't, you just look away. It's fine. It's interesting. But, kind of got me thinking about a couple things. How unique the solar eclipse is. It's, for some people, it might be once in a lifetime. And got me thinking about some things about my bike. And from what I understand, this is a Kimco Downtown 300i is really no longer available in the United States. They've kind of taken it off the market. So that kind of makes it an endangered species. And, unfortunately, this isn't the first time this happened to me. My first bike, which was a Jaeger GT 200i, was also taken off the market and was an endangered species. And when I had my crash, I really wasn't able to get a new one. I mean, I kind of looked around on Craigslist, but I didn't really want a used one. I wanted a new one. I wanted that warranty. I wanted that fresh new bike smell and everything. But it wasn't around. Couldn't find it. So I didn't want to go down to a smaller bike, despite my wife's suggestion. I decided to go up to something bigger. And I was looking at the Grand Vista, which I think was a 250cc bike. And that was also on the endangered species list. No longer available. Couldn't really find anything I liked on Craigslist or for sale anywhere else. So I decided, all right, let me go into the official maxi-scooter zone. And here I am. And I am happy. This is a great bike. But, I wonder how many other people have that sort of same situation, that whatever you're riding, whether it's a classic bike and something that's fairly old and the parts are hard to find, and obviously they don't make them anymore, but something that's been discontinued, or at least discontinued in this country. And that's got to be strange. You've got to really be careful. You are now the official caretaker of your bike. And, anything like a drop could do damage to it, so you don't want anything like that to happen. And I don't know if this is the trend. I don't know if this is the way things are going. Another thing that is a little worrisome is apparently in countries like China, they will be discontinuing 50cc scooters sometime in the future. And many people are looking at that as like maybe the end of scooters on some level, but I don't think so. I think what this really means is that things are going to be segueing to electric scooters. And if it really gains popularity in China or in other Asian countries, maybe this will then push the infrastructure to have charging stations. And if there are charging stations for scooters, there are charging stations for cars. And if that becomes sort of the norm, might trickle down into other countries, into Europe, into the United States. So, as interesting as it sounds, scooters might be the reason why we could have electric cars completely. I don't know. Theory. We shall see what happens. But it also has got me thinking about, well, what's next? This is my second year having this scooter. I'm actually beginning my third year. My last scooter I had for 5 years, and I really wanted to have it for longer, but of course my crash took it out. But I'm sort of at that point where I have to get my drive belt changed. I am at getting close to 13,000 miles, so it's about time for that. And that doesn't mean, like, you know, it's going to be put out the pasture. No. But who knows, 5 years from now, what kind of condition will it be in? And what will be available? And I'm liking some of the new models that Kymco has. And yes, I'm loyal to that brand. I really want to continue. Put down my lid. I mean, if I had the money, if I could win the lottery, I'd love to get a BMW GT650. Those are some sweet scooters. You know, and everyone is talking about Bergman and Silverwing, but you know, they're maybe a little too big. I don't want that much weight. I know they've got the power. I know they've got the extras to it, which is really nice, but not really for me. You know, I don't know what this pickup truck is doing, but don't do it in my lane. So I like the Downtown 400. It's just a very nice bike. There seems to be an improvement over, ironically, the 500. I think it's got a better design, better layout for the dashboard. The engine might be better, maybe better gas mileage. So that might be my future bike. But you know, 3 years from now, who knows what's going to be on the market? What's the scooter two-wheel riding world going to be like? Will things really be going electric? And I've got nothing, you know, against electric as long as it's got, you know, the range and the power. And you know, that's its challenge. And of course, you need to have the infrastructure for charging stations and something that can charge pretty quickly. And you know, there's also the future problems of, well, what do we do with all the battery waste? How are we going to deal with that? Are we going to switch things from polluting the atmosphere with gas guzzling engines to, you know, polluting the landscape with battery landfills, which can be toxic and that could leak into groundwater, or who knows what the exposure will be. So a lot of things to think about, to consider. But you know, I'm kind of excited, and it's nice to be back shooting stuff, to be vlogging. Oddly enough, over the summer I didn't really do a lot. I had shot a lot of stuff and I just didn't get to it, and I felt like I gotta get to them before I shoot other stuff, or I'm gonna have a backlog. And right now I've got a backlog of 2 vlogs I want to do, maybe 3 now if I count this one. I got a feeling this guy's gonna try and turn into my lane because I'm in his blind spot, but nope. Okay. Good morning. Thank you. Yep. So the future, who knows? I feel like I'm kind of beginning my school year with a solar eclipse. Is that a good omen? Is that fulfilling any weird prophecies out there? Or conspiracy nuts? I don't know. But it's sort of the beginning of my new year, and hopefully getting back to more vlogging. Heading back up to Canada this year, but I'm not going to be riding, unfortunately. But I still might take my camera. I'm always kind of tempted when I go to Ottawa to rent a scooter, and they have electric scooters. But, you know, their top speed is like 20 miles per hour, which is not as fast as a bike. So why am I spending all this money on something that's no different than a bike when I could probably just rent a bike for a lot less? I don't know. We'll see. But I am going to miss being away from my bike. I'm only going to be there for about a week or so. But, you know, when you're addicted, you're addicted. You love to ride, you love to ride. Whoop. Alright, I still made that light. So another interesting thing happened last night. I was on one of the Facebook scooter pages, and we got a troll. And of course the guy opens up with his you know, scooter riders can only get fat chicks. I don't know, something like that. It was pretty lame. But it's pretty pathetic, if not sad. I mean, that someone who's a grown adult just goes out of the way to offend people. And I've probably talked about it before, about how we as scooter riders don't get a lot of respect. And it seems to be while we're on our bike, or even now while we're off, while we're online. But the funny thing is, it's like almost all scooter drivers don't care, you know, they're pretty secure. And they don't have to justify to anyone why they ride scooters. It's not, you know, as an extension of their, for me as a guy, my manhood, womanhood, strength, how macho you are. We ride because we love it. It's fun. It's exciting. It gives us what we need. And I don't know if, at least for me, you know, motorcycles don't always do that. So it's just funny when, you know, someone is trying to just make fun of us as though we're this group of wimps, when nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, I think it takes more guts to commute on a scooter when you're going up against city buses and Mack trucks. Oh, that's a sweet bike. On a scooter. And that's what we do. So, anyway, kind of curious to see if this guy's gonna stick around on our page or if he's been removed, because you know, it's insufferable. But like I said, you know, I don't think anyone was personally offended. It's just, the guy's a jerk. All right, let's hear your comments and replies.